All right, let's do this again. In previous posts I noted a couple months ago I offered everybody a extremely low introductory offer. I told people I was going to make them enough money to afford at least a full year's subscription with one trade, and one trade that we didn't have to risk very much money. I did come through with that trade just as I promised I would. Unfortunately, there were a lot of people that they either didn't listen to me and they bet too big, or they just they're just too emotional and they didn't hang on to the trade and let it work. So unfortunately, those people missed out on that trade. But I'll do it again because we're within a few days of placing another one of those trades that's going to, for a very small investment, is going to produce a really big gain. I think certainly enough to pay for a full year's subscription of the SMT, maybe a couple of years. So a little teaser here. I've covered this before. At the very tail end of an intermediate decline, you get generally you get a bloodbath phase. That's usually 5 to 7 days of just all-out panic selling. People start predicting the end of the world. There's no fundamental reason that whatever asset you're talking about can ever turn and go back in the other direction. It's going down forever. The same thing, and usually it's the same people that are making these calls. Even they can't learn their lesson. They do this over and over. So we've got a bloodbath phase in progress. This is the euro, and I've covered this before. It's usually we break a support zone, and that kind of it triggers stops, and it starts the selling, and then the selling begets more selling, and more people panic, and it usually takes about 5 to 7 days for the all of the sellers to panic and sell, and that's what the dumb money does. The smart money, and we are going to be the smart money here. When we see a bloodbath phase start, we know that an amazing opportunity is brewing, and so we get prepared. So the euro, of course, is the inverse to the dollar. So if the euro is in a 5 to 7 day bloodbath phase, then the dollar is in a 5 to 7 day parabolic blow-off phase. And I tend to think that the dollar, that this is going to be a 3-year cycle top in the dollar that is brewing now, because it's that we've had a massive character change that's just not, it just doesn't happen unless you're in the very tail end of a very mature, usually the tail end of a multi-year cycle. So let me go over to the dollar real quick. All right, so here's the dollar, and you can see we've just had a massive character change in the dollar here. This is due to emotions. This is not anything fundamental. The market is known for well over a year that the Fed was going to be raising rates, and they're trying to bring down inflation. So there's no reason for this huge character change in the rally, other than just finally everybody is convinced themselves that the dollar can't go down. There's no fundamental way it can ever go down, and that it's just going up forever. And so I'm pretty sure that this is the ending phase of this 3-year cycle. We're putting in a 3-year cycle top. Same thing happened right here. You can see this just massive character change in the dollar here. These two huge gigantic rallies, and then a crash, and then we start to move down into the 3-year cycle low. Well, this 3-year cycle is about 2 years into this move. Started back here beginning of 21. So we're getting pretty close to 2 years. And now we've got this character change. Things are just starting to go insane to the upside. Almost positive that we are putting in the 3-year cycle top in the dollar here. And then finally, we've got what again looks like the beginning of a bloodbath phase in gold, which of course would mirror the dollar. And I'm starting to see all of the same stuff that happens at all of these intermediate cycle lows. People are saying, they're never going to trade gold again. There's no way that gold can ever go up. Into the world for gold bugs. Just the same thing that happens at every one of these intermediate cycle lows. And these people are going to look like a genius for probably 3 to 5 more days. And then they're going to look like an idiot, like they always do, because the bloodbath isn't the beginning of a sustained move that's just going to keep going and going and going. I mean, seriously, this move started way back here in March. This has been in decline since March. How much more do you think you can get before we get a sustained intermediate rally? And I think there's a decent chance, especially if the dollar's putting in a 3-year cycle low, that this could be in a slightly early 8-year cycle low for gold. So a huge opportunity brewing for people that understand what's happening, can think logically, ignore the people that are always predicting the end of the world during these final moves. And I'll say again, I'm going to make that offer, money back guarantee. I'm going to give you a trade here in a few days. We're not going to risk very much money. You will make enough money to pay for at least a full year of the SMT subscription from this one trade. And if you don't, then I'll give you your money back. And if it takes 2 months for this trade to pan out, then I'll refund both months of your SMT subscription. But I'm very convinced that we are on the verge of a major buying opportunity, and now is the time to get on board. And hopefully some people will be able to control their emotions and let the trade work. The people that did last time, it paid off just as I promised it would, but many people were too emotional. They didn't allow the trade to work, and they just missed out. Hopefully people will be smarter this time, and they won't make that same mistake twice.